What do you do? What do you do to change the expectation besides videos? We started an organization, talk platform, blah, blah, blah. I've lobbied politicians for my channel. I've reached out to many people who do this. Yeah, I've emailed lots of people, lots of educators, lots of lawmakers. I've got forms that I've sent out. I've signed petitions. I've made petitions. I've done lots. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about Alicia from the Dougherty Dozen wanting to sue Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast. I actually figured that this would be a good way for us to have a conversation around commentary channels on YouTube, talking about public information and public content, and kind of where the line is, and did he step over the line? Do I have any feelings about this? I've received so many comments and DMs, especially on Instagram, just asking my opinion, so I figured that I would just make a video. But yeah, if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so if you're clicking on this video, you know all about the Dougherty Dozen. I've done many videos on them. You probably know who Dad Challenge podcast is as well, and I've also talked about him. I try to remain somewhat, in the middle as far as being able to share my opinions without being extremely biased. And have I been perfect? No, I've not been perfect at anything that I've ever done on this platform or others, but I have done my best. And the news came out today that he received a C&D, cease and desist, from Alicia at the Dougherty Dozen. And I want to play part of his video where he kind of goes over what the letter says. I'll insert my commentary throughout it, and then I will finish out the video by stating kind of my opinions on why he got this letter, and to my knowledge, other commentary channels have not gotten this letter from her, and kind of what it means and what my overall thoughts are. So let's get into his video.
It goes like this. Dear Mr. Barber, this firm represents Alicia Dougherty. If you are represented by legal counsel, please direct this letter to your attorney immediately and have your attorney notify of such representation. We are writing to you on Ms. Dougherty's behalf regarding your campaign of harassment and cyberstalking against her and her family. We demand, first, that you refrain from going ahead with your live stream about the Dougherty schedule today for 1:30. Oh, well, it's on. Second, we demand that you cease and desist from all libel, harassment, cyberstalking, and invasion of our client's privacy. Now, in my opinion, I am not doing any of those things. I'm commenting on the videos that she puts out. That's what I'm doing. So let me put it over here so I can read your comments. Yeah, this is important. This woman shared what kids her pills take and who wears diapers and stuff. This is what this is what my lawyers told me. This is what they're trying to use because this is unsubstantiated. It's unprecedented. You can't, it's just, that's what the laws haven't really caught up. So they're like, well, he's cyberstalking us. But
now, just in case anyone wants a little bit of a refresher on what cyberstalking is, it is the repeated use of electronic communications to harass or frighten someone, for example, by sending threatening emails. And I don't know what he has done on the back end. None of us do, because I don't know what he does when he's not making a video or talking about things publicly. Have I had some very interesting run-ins with him myself? Yes, I have. Do I think that he's a walking red flag? Yes, I do. But I also think that Alicia is a walking red flag. But if we're going to, this is what I always say, if we're going to call someone out for bad behavior, let's actually stick to the bad behavior. Has he made a ton of videos about her? Yes. Have I? Yes. Commentary channels oftentimes cover the same public figures back to back to back. It's just like Without a Crystal Ball and covering the Duggars. Like, there are whole channels that only cover Amberlyn Reed or Foodie Beauty. Like, they're reaction channels, and sometimes their content is solely focused on one or two people. That's just kind of the way the internet works. They are appeasing their audience and what their audience wants to see. Dad Challenge podcast wasn't covering Dougherty Dozen initially when things kind of popped off, but then he started to. He saw the numbers and views, and he continued to deliver his, at times, what I find very distasteful and disgusting commentary towards Alicia. I always say that we can focus on someone's actions. There's no reason to be so disgusting with your commentary. I don't care if your audience likes it or not. If that's what your audience is there for and that's all that you can provide, then that tells me that you're emotionally immature and you're not able to have an educated conversation around these really important topics that you have stood on. You know, let's end child exploitation on YouTube. But if you're coming out just constantly making fun of the way someone looks, claiming that they're taking a hit of Adderall, claiming that they have an addiction to White Claw, these are really heavy claims to put on someone. And I think that because of some of these claims, that is why he received this letter and other commentary channels did not.
Cyberstalking would be like cyberstalking someone who's not famous. So if I'm cyberstalking the Dougherty Dozen, then that means that every news broadcast or every, TMZ and all these channels who talk about famous people are cyberstalking everybody.
Now, he can say that he's commenting. I think that that is a little bit of an incorrect definition of what he's doing. And I say that because if you go to his community tab, he knows that he has cultivated an audience that really enjoys this disgusting type of commentary that he delivers. And he seems to think that this letter came because of this post. And he said, just got done speaking with some people who know what's going on behind the scenes of the Dougherty Dozen house. And oh my God, when I tell you my jaw dropped, I'm compiling it all right now. It's everything we fear and more. Life 360 is going to have some explaining to do. This woman is an absolute fraud in every conceivable way. I wish I could drop it all now, but I want to make sure. I get it right. Get effing ready. So he's obviously hyping people up about this. Now, if things are, here's my thing. If there are bad things going on behind the scenes in this household, things that he's alluding to, like children allegedly being strapped to beds.
Not necessarily. If she straps a kid down at night or whatever, if that's part of their medical, if a doctor says it's okay, that's, again, this does happen, everybody. This is something that happens. So, but she's, if that's happened, to me, that really, really, really gets me. It's just not really being able to parent your children. If you have to strap your child down to sleep at night, something tells me something's happened in the past. So that causes you to do that thing, or you just can't parent your child. You don't have the ability. Maybe that's another reason why she has cameras in kids' bedrooms.
The things that he is alluding to are very serious. And we're not, at this point, we're not talking about just giving some commentary on a family vlogger's video and saying, oh, this is right, that's wrong, this is funny, this isn't. These are really heavy claims to place on to adults that have kids. Even if I talked to someone that was behind the scenes and they were telling me some stuff like this, I would have to direct them to the authorities, because as a commentary channel, I am not here to spread hearsay of what someone else told me, and they might not even have any proof of it. And if they do have proof, then yes, you need to be working with the authorities. And this is something that, a lot of her fans have come even to my comments section and said, oh, well, if you're so worried, why don't you call CPS? The things that I'm worried about and I'm giving commentary on are not things that CPS are going to get involved with, nor should they. I'm just saying, don't tell people where your kids go to school. Don't give them McDonald's for 24 hours. Maybe teach them some chores, teach them some manners, things like this. I'm not, literally alleging that there could be possible abuse going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't know, those kinds of claims just come with a very hefty price tag. And I want nothing to do with those kinds of things. Commentary is not supposed to be that. And if things like that ever do come to light, then that is when you should be working with authorities and not putting it on a monetized YouTube video. Didn't everyone get mad when the I Stand With Sophie thing was being monetized by creators? Well, why are we allowing monetization of abuse claims that might not even be true? Hypocrisy. But I also think that posts like this, where he says, yes, the product she uses to kick off her day, LOL. Not a brand deal whatsoever. This woman's skincare routine is White Claws and coffee with a hit of Adderall. Olay, if you want to convince people to buy your skin products, perhaps you should choose someone who doesn't exploit children for money. Because if this is what it looks like after using your products, then who TF would buy it? And the comments in this post that he put are just really disgusting, just unnecessary. I don't think that it's necessary. You can disagree with her and what she's doing all day long, but I don't think that this is going to do anything positive for anybody, aside maybe get you a few extra subscribers, because they like your immature, disgusting, bullying type commentary that you deliver.
She puts the content out there. I comment on the content. So they're considering that cyber stalking. So we'll see how that goes for them. Cool. Anyway, let's continue. Also, she says, you know, that you cease and desist from that, an invasion of our clients' privacy. Now, that's interesting because the private things that I'm about to tell you guys, they're not private. She's a public figure and someone told me about those things. So anyway, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying what I think. You know, my speech can be protected unless I'm lying. Okay, if I'm lying and saying people go harass them, go stalk them, go.
Someone left a comment and said, you're just a commentator, your speech is protected. But here's the thing. It gets very tricky with platforms like YouTube because, as I've gone over in other videos, and I'll link some of those down below, you can make commentary videos, but you still have to respect the terms of service and the terms of use and the community guidelines on whatever platform it is that you are providing commentary to. So if you have a big audience on TikTok, yeah, you can say certain things, but their community guidelines still come into play, where if you say, you know, some really disgusting stuff, then they will ban your channel for bullying. And, you know, if you're really going at it with someone and not respecting them at all, then they can ban your page for harassment. And I've seen that happen many different times. I'm sure y'all have too. The privacy thing and the giving commentary on her content thing, I am all for that. Do I think that he should he be sued, and should he lose his channel, and should he just, you know, disappear from the face of the planet? No, I don't think that. But what I do think is, if you're going to make this amount of money by talking about Alicia, then you should not be bullying her. Because YouTube says that there shouldn't be any bullying on this platform of creator on creator or creator on whoever it is that you're talking about, whether they're a public figure or not. And a lot of the things that he has said about her are bullying. You cannot literally sit there and say that someone has a drinking problem and they're taking hits of Adderall and they're, you know, wrinkled and ugly and they're whatever. He has said all kinds of crazy stuff, like her house smells like piss and her kids need showers. You just can't say that kind of stuff and expect zero repercussion. Eventually, the person that you are targeting is going to get fed up. And I think that's exactly what happened here. Now, you guys probably already know Amy Robinson. I've mentioned her before. She has a YouTube channel. I've covered them. He has covered them. I don't know of any other YouTuber who has covered them on a consistent basis. And I find it interesting that he received this letter and I didn't. And I pump the brakes, because before I go any further, I'm not saying this like, nah, I didn't get it and he did. That's not it at all. But I am using it as a comparison factor to say, we both cover the Dougherty Dozen. I've done many videos on them. He's done many videos on them. But your language matters. The things that you say matter. The types of claims that you're trying to come out with and say that, oh, this might be going on, that might be going on, we might be dealing with addiction issues, and we already know that he has issues from his own childhood because of alcoholism. But you can't allow that to bleed into your reactions and what you think might be going on with Alicia. Do I think it's really bad that she drinks when she has kids that have fetal alcohol syndrome? Absolutely. However, I am not going to insert White Claws into every piece of commentary that I give on her and literally call the woman an old drunk alcoholic because I have seen her ingest White Claws on a consistent basis. The privacy thing I do find very interesting because if we're going to talk about privacy, like where is Alicia's accountability in all of this? Because she has given out so much information about these kids. So much information about where she lives. She has laughed at the fact that their address is on Google. She constantly talks about where they go to school. Her kids are constantly wearing their school mascot, and she shares sports photos and films other kids at school, at practice, and at football games. So I think her problem with this is going to lie in the fact that she tried to just put a huge blanket over all of these different terms when this would have been, in my opinion, and I know that YouTube is really hard to deal with, but if we're gonna talk about him and his content being bad, let's actually focus on what is bad about it. Because if you're gonna sit there and try to say that Dad Challenge podcast is ruining your privacy, your argument's not gonna go very far with that. But the fact that she's trying to say cyber stalking and privacy and all of this kind of stuff, that's where, to me, she just really looks like a fool. I don't know how else to say it.
In a recent video on your channel, you disseminated private facts about the Dougherty children based on your own admission that you sent a source inside the Dougherty home to gather that information. What? I sent a source. This lawyer is telling me that I sent a source inside the Dougherty home to gather information. Okay. I don't know where she's hearing that. This conduct appears to be grossly illegal under civil and criminal provisions against cyber harassment in both Canada and the United States. First of all, they're going to have to prove.
They're trying to claim that he sent someone into the Dougherty house as a source. I mean, that is absolutely wild. But here's the thing. This could turn into a whole disaster because if they have something to prove the Dad Challenge podcast actually did that, this could turn into such a mess. I don't think the internet will even be remotely prepared for the fallout that could happen because of this. If it's true and if they can actually prove that, I mean, that's wild. And I always, sit back as a commentary channel and I consider my sources, like, people that send me stuff or, whatever. You always have to consider your source, and you can't, I don't know, like, you just can't trust everyone on the internet. And who knows what he does, like I said, behind the scenes. But if he was talking to someone who he shouldn't have been trusting, and they actually talked to Alicia and Alicia offered them a piece of the pie. And of course, this part is really just a conspiracy. But I'm trying to figure out why an attorney would put that specific verbiage in this letter if they didn't have anything to fall back on. Just a question.
That I sent someone into their home, and I didn't. That's ridiculous. Someone who has been in their home, multiple people actually have reached out to me. If that's what they mean, I don't know if that's what they mean. So who's my spy? I don't have a spy. I don't. So yeah, it's paranoia. I think what's happening, I'll get to in a second. So that's hilarious that in a recent video, I said I sent a spy in. Okay, that's awesome. Your subscribers are taking their cues from this extreme and outrageous misconduct, resulting in a barrage of phone calls and emails to the Dougherty's children's school and to Josh Dougherty's place of work. Your subscribers have also made numerous false reports about the Dougherty's to New York State Office of Children and Family Services, all of which has been found up substantiated. So what they're saying is that all of you guys have been calling the school and his school. And okay, I didn't tell you to do that. I'm not your dad. Do whatever you want.
Here's the thing, you can't just throw your hands up like that, because to a certain degree, you are responsible for your own content. You are responsible for the things that you're saying and the things that you're publishing. And I'm sure y'all have noticed in the beginning of my videos, I have a disclaimer that everything is opinion-based, it's not fact, it's alleged, it's for entertainment purposes. And I don't put that in the beginning of my videos so that, you know, nobody will listen to a word that I have to say. I put that in the beginning of my video because I don't want to have to say allegedly every 5 seconds when I'm discussing something, or saying, oh, this is just my opinion. It would ruin the video. It would just become very annoying. And to some of y'all, I'm repetitive enough as is. But I put that as a disclaimer just to kind of remind people that this is an opinion-based channel. And even if we talk about stuff that is serious, it is still just my opinion. And even then, I go above and beyond to not try and, you know, just pull things out of left field and get you guys hype so that you're upset by the time you finish watching my video. And so you have to take some responsibility for the stuff that you're putting out. You cannot just throw your hands up. That is part of having a platform. That is part of having, you know, your little corner of the internet. It's really cool until it backfires in your face like it's doing for him right now. And if you're putting information out there that is not fact-checked, things like kids possibly being mistreated, then of course people are going to call CPS and they're going to do it because of your video. So no, it's not completely Josh's fault, but if his video never came out, then those people probably would have not called CPS because they would have not heard these insane rumors that at times he spreads on his channel.
I am not responsible for what you do. If you feel the need to call the Department of Children's Services because you feel like these kids are not in the right place, that's not, I can't tell you to stop that. Sorry. You're an adult. Do what you want. I'm not going to do it. I don't think calling Department of Children's Services will do anything. They're garbage. So, and I've said that before. So it's interesting. In a recent video on your channel, so yeah, this conduct appears to be grossly illegal under civil and criminal provisions, blah, 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 both in Canada and the United States. It's not. It's stupid because I don't do that. Your subscribers are taking their cues from this extreme and outrageous misconduct, resulting in a barrage of, oh, I already read that, sorry. Been found substantiated. Virtually all of these communications parrot the exact talking points in your videos about our clients, and many of them contain outright threats of physical harm. Again, don't do that. I've never told you guys to ever do that. Don't do that. If you are, don't. But they're saying, if people are sending messages saying, Josh sent me to do this, then you better have your receipt saying that I sent you to do this. Because I would never, ever do that. These kids' lives are already in enough danger and grossness as it is for somebody to be sending somebody after kids. No, I've always said on this channel, always will say this. You take your children off, protect their privacy, protect your children, I will take my videos down about you. And then you can go on, continue to do your shopping hauls and be it all about you. I just need you to stop exploiting your children for cash. And I've said that since day one. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of channels talking about for sure. Dear lawyer, did you get the video of him sniffing his junk? So we are working with a Canadian firm to subject you to all possible civil liability in Canada. Okay. How can sure, try it. And you can also be hailed into a U.S. court, both individually and through the agency representing you. I'm my agency. So no, I can't, because I've paid a lawyer quite a lot of money to see if that was possible. So here's what these guys have to do in order to sue me. And they can do it. They can try it all they want. They have to come here to sue me in my country. So they got to come up. It's not too far. They're only like 3.5 hours away. It's not that far.
But this is the whole thing. When your content upsets people and when it enrages people, and it has to do with things like child exploitation and children being mistreated and the rumor mill that kind of surrounds those really sensitive topics, people are going to be upset. And with a big platform comes a big responsibility. And I just don't think that it's fair that he throws his hands up. And that's my opinion. I'm not going to continue to listen to him blabber because I think that we all get the point. I don't know what's going to happen with this. Obviously, nobody does. But I have said for the longest time, he had a good message, but he went away from that message so long ago. And I think that it's interesting that once he saw the numbers from the Dougherty videos, it's like he kept going and kept going and kept going. And when you keep going and you keep pushing the limits and you continue to make these really vile commentary towards people, eventually that person might get pushed past their edge. And I don't think that Alicia just got pushed past her edge. I think she's also very paranoid. And I think that she has just had enough, and she decided to go against the channel that has made the most toxic content featuring her and her family. And that's how I feel about this. Again, I don't think he should lose his channel. I don't think that he needs to, like, you know, go away forever. Do I think that this is going to be a wake-up call for him to not be such an asshole online? No, because he justifies it and he thinks that he's right. And he has a community that enjoys these gross comments that he makes towards people. I had someone in a video a while ago say, oh, well, you and Josh do the same thing. Really? Can we compare apples to oranges some more? Because we do not do the same thing. We might talk about the same people, but I have never, ever, ever come out of left field with some insane conspiracy like Alicia allegedly strapping her child to a bed because he is a runner. I have never bullied her for the way that her skin looks. I have never said that she is an alcoholic. I've never said that she takes hits of Adderall. And I've never made fun of her for her personal appearance. And in fact, I've also deleted comments from my own videos that were, in my opinion, over the line, because it's just not necessary. If you have a good message to stand on and you have, you know, the emotional availability to talk about these things, you don't need to do any of this immature shit that he does. But again, who am I? I'm just some, you know, idiot with an opinion online. But either way, that's how I feel about this. I can't wait to hear from you guys. So tell me how you feel down below. I'll keep an eye on this. I don't know. What a mess. But I do think that it speaks very loudly that he is the one that received this letter from her attorney. Now, of course, I don't want to jinx it. Maybe I'll get one tomorrow. But I also think that the content speaks for itself. And this is a very, very obvious reminder of how you can have multiple channels talking about the same exact person, but your words matter, the things that you say matter, the things that you're trying to pass off as fact matter. And I think we're seeing that right now. So either way, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.